Near mint condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
Absolute format is the best way to own this store. Time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves. How's it going, all you minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And we are continuing our advanced look at the latest Trigun Deluxe Edition, and that is Trigun Maximum Deluxe Edition Volume 3. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, before going any further, a big thank you to the folks at Dark Horse for sending us an advanced copy of this Deluxe Edition. So here we have the latest Trigun Maximum Deluxe Edition, and that is Volume 3. I love the fact that each one of these volumes has a different emboss image right here. This time around, we're looking at Legato. And then we have Trigun in the foil right there, the gold foil stamp. And Yasuhiro Nightow. And again, Trigun Maximum, Volume 3, and then the back. This all comes, by the way, in plastic, and you do have a leaflet that comes with it, giving you a little bit of the synopsis as to what's collected in here and where it was originally collected. So yes, this has been collected before in a series of tankobon, mainly Volume 7, 8, and 9. So all of this right here is collected in this book in an oversized format. So we'll do a little size comparison and art comparison in a minute. Now, I do want to show you, while I have the spine here, how it will look on your shelf. So you have the Trigun Deluxe Edition, Trigun Maximum 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I believe by May of next year is when we're going to be done with the series, and they are cranking them out. And like I said, I love the fact that they're using different emboss images on the front. Like you've got Vash's gun there, and Nicholas D. Wolfwood's gun, which is actually named here. And then this piece right here. So we are going to open this book up and talk about the stories found in here while I show off the artwork. And then we'll do a quick comparison to the original tankobon. Alright, let's go ahead and open this book up. I don't think I mentioned it, but just like the other books, this is the faux leather cover with the foil stamping, and you have your red end sheets there. Trigun Maximum Deluxe Edition, Deep Space Planet Future Gun Action, Yasuhiro Nightow, and then of course the translations by Justin Burns and Studio Cutie. And we have this piece here of Nicholas D. Wolfwood and Vash, your table of contents, where you're going to start each of these volumes. So remember, there are 3 volumes in here, 7, 8, and 9, and this will tell you where you're starting each volume. But then within the volume, they tell you what the table of contents and where you're going to start each of the chapters within said volume. This book, it is the smallest one out of the deluxe editions so far, and it is 632 pages and retailing for $49.99. Now, Trigun. If you have not read the previous volumes, I am going to have to talk about some spoilers. Not too deep in the spoilers, but to even look at the premise of what is going on here, because it can get confusing. Even for someone like me that read this years ago in tankobon size and loved the anime, the original anime, it can get confusing. So just in case, I am going to talk about some spoilers. All right, in the very first volume, so I guess what will be Volume 7, we have, I think the original one, it's called Happy Days, that's right. Boy, they use that term loosely. So all of this, or a majority of this chapter right here of this book, is a flashback to simpler times of both Knives and his brother, Vash the Stampede, or just Vash, as they live on the ship with Rem. And then what exactly happens when people wake up from this cryogenic sleep, and the origins of something else, something that could be known as Tesla. And how is Tesla related to both of the boys? Well, here you find out about the origin story of these 2 kids, right? We've had Rem there for a while. As a matter of fact, she takes the cover right there. I love the fact that the cover, I don't know if they have it. No, they don't. They have it in the back. I wish they had put the cover here So you can see this, and then they do have all the covers, which we'll look at here in a little bit in the back. But just the innocence to that cover, and then the tragedy of what's to come, what happens here when the boys find out exactly who they are. And a lot of it has to do with the revelation about plants and how these plants are now supporting the planet, and which, you know, they're going to go and inhabit, and what they have to do with some of these plants, and they themselves are part plants. Now, it's not like the greenery that you see all over the place, but it is something else, something a little more devious and a little more human constructed. I will say we do have, you know, going back to present day, where we have some of the Gung-ho guns still torturing Wolfwood, while the Ark is about to take off with Vash and Knives. And man, you go from, like, I don't know what it is about Nightow, the way that he does things, but you go from ridiculous, over-the-top, comedic faces to, holy crap, some almost like NC-17 kind of gruesome moments in here. The way people's limbs are being torn, and then you get some badassery. Nah, I don't know. That's not really a word. But anyway, some badassery poses through here, because he is just really good at that. But you get insanity like this as to what their bodies are turning into and what it could mean. Now, that is the very first Volume 7. And then we get into Volume 8. That is the Silent Ruin storyline. Now, here we get a little bit more of the Gung-ho guns that are introduced. Now, when I say Gung-ho guns, it is different than the anime. I watched the anime back in 1998, and I thought, oh, okay, this is going to follow the manga that's coming out. And then when the manga came out, I was like, cool. What I didn't know was like the case of Akira, or the case of Nausicaa Valley of the Wind, where he wasn't done with the manga. They just went and produced the show. They did all the episodes, and they took ideas that he was going to do later on. For example, what happens to some of the characters, and I don't want to go into detail as to what happens to some of the characters, because that is a big major spoiler if you haven't seen any of the anime or have read any of the book. But, for example, like Kane the Longshot is not in the manga. He only appears in the anime. And so is a character known as Chapel. So if you're coming in from the anime and have watched those episodes and want to get into Trigun, I strongly recommend rereading the whole thing. Don't just skip like Volume 1. Don't jump into this one. Read the entirety of it, because it's different. Like, there's a character named Chapel. I think he goes by Chapel the Evergreen in the anime. He is different here in the manga, or the character Chapel is different here. So we have some of the Gung-ho guns that are still part of this invasion towards the end, as the Ark is about to take off, and what it can mean for the rest of humanity here, with Knives and Vash in there. And what the Gung-ho guns are doing is, within the Gung-ho guns, they set aside 3 different seats for these people that will be known as the members of the Eye of Michael. And the Eye of Michael is kind of like a group within a group. So you have characters in there like this guy right here, Livio, the Double Fang. You've got the character of Chapel. You've got the character of somebody that will be known as Razio, the Tri-Punisher of Death. And all these characters have those guns, the big cross guns that Wolfwood has. So you find out the history of Wolfwood with the members of the Eye of Michael, and what they represent, and why they're so special that they got 3 seats within the Gung-ho guns. Now, also, the remainder Gung-ho guns are, of course, well, you probably saw it through here, but you also have the character of Elendira, the Crimson... Is it Crimson Nail? Crimson Nail? Yeah, the Crimson Nail. That's what she calls herself. She's through here, and then, of course, you have the whole battle between these Eye of Michael characters and Wolfwood, and just how powerful he is. Now, later on, by the way, this is one of my favorite backups. So every one of these 3 volumes will have a backup story. This is one of my favorite ones. Most of the time, it's just Nightow himself drawing and doing something goofy. This time around, he's promoting the video game Gungrave, which is right here, which he did the artwork for. And this is Red Artworks. Oh my gosh, was it 2002? That's insane. So that's what he's promoting. I love that. So yes, Vash does get to come back, reunite with Wolfwood, but not everything is as happy as you think it's going to be. For reasons that you can find out for yourself, Wolfwood decides to leave. and go, not really on a self-discovery, but there is a reason why he leaves Vash for a while. And he goes on a solo adventure, which is where he gets to face off against these characters, against the Eye of Michael, and you get to find out the secret of these characters, the secret of Livio. There's a really powerful story here. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. It's done in a series of flashbacks of both Nicholas D. Wolfwood and Livio when they were friends. And what makes Livio different than somebody like Nicholas Wolfwood? I love finding out more and more about these characters, and a lot different than both the anime, the original I think it came out in 98, I can't remember when it came out in America, and the new one, the Stampede. Is that what it was? Or Rampage? I can't remember what the new one was called. I didn't even finish it. It's a lot different than this. I need to go back and finish it. But it is a lot different than that. And you get new characters and just crazy artwork. And of course, you get a little more of the inside of what makes Nicholas D. Wolfwood tick. Now, do Millie and Meryl show up through this volume? Well, I will let you find out for yourself. Now, all the way in the back, after the to be continued, we have the silly story, and after the matte paper, we get these printed in glossy paper stock. So this is the Trigun Maximum Omnibus, and then you have, yes, the volume 7s right here, in the internal volume 7 piece right here. Now the covers are textless covers; they don't have any text or logos on them or numbers on them. Like this is volume 8 right here. This is the way the volume 8 looked originally. So you get the full picture, and then you get the internal cover art right there. And yes, it is a take on this. Hey, who are these characters I was just talking about? I love that he did this. I wish more artists would do this. And these mysterious Eye of Michael characters. And then a biography on Yasuhiro Nightow. And other deluxe editions, which, man, I welcome them every time. And also, just like every other one of these, you get a bookmark ribbon, yellow, which was the original color of the faux leather, but for reasons, they decided to change it to red. All right, let's look at the sewn binding right there with that big eye, letting the artwork just lay over nicely, especially when you have double page spreads like that. That looks so good. And compare it to the original tankobon, how you have to hold it down like this just to see the entire art, and you still get so much gutter loss, where the sewn binding just lets it lay over nicely. So yeah, let's actually quickly, and I mean quickly because I've done this for every one of the volumes, but I know people want to know the differences. For example, volume 7 right here, table of contents, and here we go. The biggest difference, the translation's the same. I know people have pointed that out on the videos, but they added the sound effect translations within the actual pages. So if there's a sound effect, they either translate it right outside of the frame or sometimes inside of the frame. But of course, the artwork looking bigger, which we did a little comparison, but the translations are identical. It's the same dialogue as before, just, of course, translating the sound effects, which to me helps a lot. Because in the past, you either had to go all the way in the back, which I don't think they did that with Trigun for translation notes. Nope, they didn't do that with the Trigun. Or sometimes you just had to guess. But that is it. That is Trigun Maximum Deluxe Edition Volume 3. We've got 2 more volumes to go. That, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this deluxe edition, don't forget to check out our sponsors.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltscomicshop.com, and you can use the code nearmintcondition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email,
reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more.
And that was the content, the page count, and build of the Deluxe Edition. Let me know in the comments down below if you are picking this up, if you have the Omnibus editions, or if you have the original Tankobons, and of course what you think of the Trigun story. And if you've never read Trigun and you just love hardcovers and you're picking this up as your first go around, yeah, let me know. I would love to know your honest thoughts. That's it, everybody. Any questions, leave them down below. Smash that like button on the way out. Check us out on Patreon and Spreadshop. Amazing ways to support the channel. Everybody stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.